Peace, love, and bliss, y'all. It's Chi Vital, and I'm back with some more tools for your toolkit on ways to create your lives. I am tuning in live. We're going over a communication skill so that you can communicate well with one of the most important people in your life, yourself. What up, so? Hashtag HOC. Hashtag gang. Hashtag fairy gang. Let us know where you tuning in from. Let me see those fairy emojis and those fuegos, fire emojis. Peace, y'all. Peace. What's up? Now that I sang a rainbow mantra for y'all, like, I feel like I should sing all the time. Like, somebody cut me a deal. Oh, man, yo. Today has been so good. Today has been so good. I'm like, just gonna flow and tell y'all about my day. Meanwhile, just mixing it up with the sauce. But I'm not gonna take too long, because you know how we do. This is my segment. 9 p.m. is my segment. 9:30, y'all jump on the Dark Lord song. Alright, so when we're communicating, right? We always want to be clear about what the objective is of why we're even opening our mouths. I spoke about this before when learning how to communicate with another person outside of yourself, right? And you tend to kind of get your horns locked with them. And once you get to that place, it's easy to lose sight of why you're even going back and forth, especially if you're not clear, like, all right, this is why I'm having this conversation with this person in the first place. What happens when we're having a conversation with ourselves, though? We can get our horns locked, metaphorically, obviously, with having a conversation with ourselves. So, speaking on, don't laugh at my fuzzy slippers, speaking on, like, saying this is how I want to carry myself, or like, this is my new goal, I'm stepping out, I'm doing something major, right? You can say that and then easily find yourself doing some of the same things that you were doing before, and then turn around and you're like, oh, why did I do that? I'm not listening. I said this is how I'm going to move. This is how I'm going to really track my progress. But I fell off. Right? So I'm looking at examples, like, let me just use like really similar ones, because I have really, really good insight from real people, right? And so, for example, my goal is to become independent. And so I'm telling myself, all right, I've placed myself in a position where my track record is that I usually start something and then I end up not completing it, right? And I'm like, damn it, I always get into this mix where I'm starting something and I lose momentum after I lose the excitement of it. Because, of course, anything that you're going to start, initially, you're passionate about it, your fire is going, your wheels are turning, creativity's like all out here, and you're like, yes, I'm going to do it. And so, like, you're in it, right? It's just like a brand new relationship. Like, you're in love with this new thing you're going to do. And then when you get in it, you can start to see how people are going to start responding to the work that you put in and your excitement. Because if anybody here is familiar with sales, the first thing is you have to be excited about your product before anybody else is going to be excited. If you don't show up excited about your product, no matter what's going on in your life, no matter what's going on when you show up to your client, if you're not showing up excited, you're not going to sell. And at the end of the day, with business, if you're going to be profitable, you always have to maintain this level of excitement no matter what. The catch is, how do you remind yourself that this is something that you're going after, even when you no longer are feeling that pumped or you're not feeling as confident, right? Let me know if y'all following so far. This is a conversation with yourself, and this is how to communicate very clearly, no matter what. So you following my story so far? Let me see some ones if you follow. Sí. Dame los unos. Okay? Alright. Hey, Renee. Sí, yo sé un poquito española. So, right? When you get some, like the short term or short-sightedness is where you get the immediate notoriety. People are hitting you up. You're like, oh yeah, like this is great, awesome, I'm doing my thing. And then you're like, oh snap, I'm getting so many phone calls that I have to now have a calendar. Now I'm juggling things, because if I don't answer these calls and put these people in my calendar, then I won't have these clients to make sure that these other bills get paid. And then I need to make sure that I plan ahead to make sure that I'm taking care of my future, because in this present moment, I may even be a little behind, and I'm so used to having something to lean back on in case I lose momentum. But the thing is, when you're on your own, your momentum always comes from within. And even when you have access to other outlets, your momentum is what is going to get you forward. Okay? So in order to communicate with yourself clearly, something that I was trained to do as an adolescent was to write down my code of ethics. That's one. My code of ethics are supposed to be written down, because it's easy to walk around with so many other things going on in my mind that when life happens, if I have not written something down, such as a code of ethics, which is like one of the pillars of who I am when I show up, and I've decided how I'm going to work, like work ethic is a part of what would be your code of ethics, and how you present yourself, how you move behind closed doors, how you interact with individuals, how you show up for your clients, how you show up for your family, how you show up for your friends. All of those things will get covered under your code of ethics, right? And so if I set out the goal, like, all right, I'm looking to break a pattern. In order to break the pattern, one have to notice it. And I noticed the pattern because I've chosen, all right, I'm not going to lean on anybody else any longer. I'm not going to have a crutch. That means then, in the spiritual realm of this, right, what's gonna happen is that there's going to be around me some low-hanging fruit. Low-hanging fruit for someone who is weak is a trick, because what will happen is oh look, let me go for that because I can get that right now. It's very short-sighted. But if I write down, I'm removing crutches from my life so that I can learn to strengthen my own legs based on my own work ethic, based on how I learn how to meet other professionals and be a professional in that circle, right? Because everybody around me has gone through this process. Outside of even, let's say, people who are really wealthy who receive their trust fund, right? They inherited some type of business that was already built. I know people who have received that, but at the same time, they had to bust their tails to maintain and grow that business based off of their own intelligence, based off of their own studying how something gets done and seeing what can be done better. So no one, when it comes to like really doing business and being an entrepreneur, it's not about what's handed to you, because nothing gets handed to you, including like I had a close massage therapist who I used to work with, who went and she built a business for a long time, and she had like a book of clients. She didn't I didn't say to her when she was leaving a place where we shared employment and say, send me all your clients. Negative. Negative. That is one of the most demeaning things to say to another business owner at all. Like, no business owner who really is self-respecting is going to respect you for that, because there's actually a way to go about it, right? The way you go about stuff like that is you present to them the question and ask if they are willing to sell their books. So the reason why you don't have that idea when you're communicating with yourself, right? And you have this low-hanging fruit, like, oh, look, there's people around me who are already like doing their thing, and maybe they'll just give me the mic. Maybe they'll just tell everyone to come holler at me. People who have worked to build up a certain level of an audience or client base, or leads for real estate, or leads for life insurance, all of that, they've put in a lot of energy. So regardless of if they're going to be in that particular business any longer, there's a certain respect and relationship that a person has with their clientele. How is this relevant to communicating with yourself? If I set a goal and I say, this is how I'm going to show up now as independent, right? When I see low-hanging fruit, I have to put myself in a position of power and to think long-term of why I make certain choices for myself today, because of where my vision is all the way down there. And don't just think about it, write it down. Write it down, especially when you're in a very, very, very vulnerable space. And the most vulnerable space is when you're in transition. We communicate with ourselves most raw, without any kind of like anything to keep us safe, when we are in transition, because we're unsure. We don't really know how things are going to turn out. But when you say to yourself that today is the day that I choose to change my script, if you're watching this video, before you make that decision, while you still may have some safety net, it would behoove you, right? It would behoove you to write down some of the things that can easily distract you, some of the low-hanging fruit that exists around you, so that you don't make the mistake of trying to pick it. Because what you will miss out on is the fact that it's low-hanging, it's already ripe, and you won't have much time to do anything with it before it's rotten. Okay? What's high up there has time to really mature and receive even more sunlight and nutrients, so that when you go to eat it, you get way more from it than you would have if you just took the low-hanging fruit. It's probably already bruised because other animals are getting at it. You follow? Let me know if you follow. The next thing is, if you recognize certain weaknesses that you have in other characters, remember, in HOC, you are the movie director of your life, okay? So when you decide that you're going to change the plot scheme for your life, you have to look at the characters around you, because you've already placed them there, okay? So let's say, you know, here you are, this is before you make the change. You have your best friend, you have your, maybe you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, you have your mom and dad. So when I make a list of the individuals who provide some type of crutch for me, I have to make sure that I don't subconsciously recreate them. You follow? Because that happens so easily. The subconscious mind is really slippery like that. And it's only with really intense focus and having written reminders for yourself present, and you write them down and you review and you check in with yourself, that you don't get caught up, or no one else can get you caught up. Because some of what keeps us from being like successful to our maximum potential is short-sightedness. It's that first sale. Oh, I just need that first sale. I just need to get that one client, and then they're gonna tell everybody about me. And it's funny because some of the best clients, when initially looking at them, is like, yo, this client got the bread, they got the clout, but that person may not be very public about certain things anyway. So the better client would be the one who probably, you know, maybe they can't afford to come seeing you, but they know everybody else and they can tell them about you, and then everyone will trust and come, and then they may, you know, you may just want to throw them a service. So it's just like, you gotta open up your perspective, and you have to remind yourself, if I remove this person out of my life, out of natural harmony and equilibrium, like, you're gonna want to easily attract someone to put in that space. So if it was my daddy over here, right, who I'm like, yeah, daddy, like, let me get $100. When I say I'm not asking daddy for his money no more, because I'm not living under his roof, I'm not going with his rules, I might look to my man and be like, I'm gonna lean on him every time I feel a little insecure. Or I might lean on somebody else. And it'll happen because for a little bit, while you're shifting and you're transitioning, that vibration of an individual, you physically move them, but there's a space there. And so you're going to naturally try to plug somebody in. That's where you got to have stuff written down while you're focused, to say, all right, this is what I am doing. This is my goal. And here are some of my slip-ups. Okay? So communicating with ourselves really is better when we write things down and have them in places where we can see them the most. Having opaque paper on the mirror, you know, if you're in your car, in your vehicle often, having sticky notes. I don't know if you notice this sometimes if you're in my other office. I have sticky notes all over, and they're not just like, okay, do this, do this, do this. They are just reminders of like who I am, what I'm doing, who I am, what I'm doing. Because in the midst of transition and transformation, I know already I'm going to be vulnerable. And the things that I easily move into are going to be the things that are my poison. Here, I'm going to repeat that. The things that you do easily definitely are your poisons. They're like your comfort foods. They're your chocolate cookies when you're on a diet. They're the Starbucks that's on the route to your job. So I'm gonna just pause for a minute because I see y'all y'all have some comments. I like to interact with you all. Feeling like a friggin' granny the way I just said that. Well, let me see. Yo, somebody say Eshu plays tricks on you all the time. Yo, Eshu is exactly like that. It's funny you said that. Eshu, stay with that. You be like, Eshu, please bring me prosperity. Eshu be like, when's the last time you came here and saw me? Oh, cool. I'm gonna send you something. I'm gonna send you something. You're gonna think it's prosperity. It's gonna be tricks. My ladies can say fairy gang. The guys can say gang gang. I'm with that. But like if you scared, you ain't no fairy gang. We don't do scared. I spent like a good 15 minutes letting my 4-year-old daughter figure out how she was gonna feed our cat because she was scared. And I do not do scared. Like, we can't do that. Trick. As you playing tricks on ya. On point. Thank you, Shay. Definitely transient state. I'm evolving. Cool, Kita. Thank you, Cafeteria. I like when I get to see people in here that I actually see in person and work with. Because y'all already know how I give it up. Get rid of the protagonist. Word. Man, you got to. Network connections. Instinctively printed out many versions of my vision board. Put them everywhere. Yo, Renard, you be on it. You be on it. And you listen. Like, you're super powerful when you're able to listen. When you know, like, I should be listening. Inside the fridge. Hey. It has to be in my face. That's right. Be careful what you wish for. Yeah, I did well. I did not drink coffee today. Alright. Alright. Very. Yes. Alright. When you scared, cool. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything because, you know, I do consultations and I really get all into your business and will fine tune and pull here and push you here and do all of that. But I want y'all to make sure y'all get the most out of these these lives because I'm here. And while I'm here, I want to be able to give as authentically and as raw and as like how my teachers gave it to me. And I appreciate having old school teachers that just held me to the fire. Because what ended up happening is no one gave me anything. Anything that you see me have, and this is why I love Cardi B. Like, anything you see me have, like, I really, really worked towards it. And at some point, when you're working that hard and you're authentic in who you are, somebody else is going to see you and they're going to try you. And when they try you and they realize that you're cut from the kind of cloth that they want to associate themselves with, you don't ever have to ask them. They will give it to you. Matter of fact, they will ask you, can I give this to you? My good news for today, because I wanted to share some good news, right? Because I definitely had a great day. First of all, let me say that. I saw my Kung Fu Master Sifu today. Totally awesome to start my day with that. Then I got a phone call from a brother who was very, very well connected, who said, you know, someone asked for a referral. And as soon as he dropped my name, they were like, yo, I just spoke to such and such, who's also up there. And they gave me the same name. And that right there blesses me because that means that no matter what, I'm not focused on trying to go and get these individuals. But these people who are working hard and their circles are gridlocked tight and they only work with the best are saying my name because I'm doing the work and they get to see me, connect with me, and they're pleased. And so I'm pleased because I stand on some heavy hitters' shoulders. And this is all I'm trying to convey to you all is that when you're working towards getting there, make sure that you always pay homage to your teachers, those who break ground for you, and you don't have to ask. You should not be asking for anything. You should be asking to give. You should show up to give. And your listening is the first thing that doesn't cost you a dime. Is to listen so that you can make sure that you get in what you need to receive so you can go back and be like, all right, let me apply this. Because just like our parents will tell us is like, the greatest gift on return is to show me that you got it. That you got it. The energy that has been put into you or the positions that you've been in, that you got the message. And so you're on point. People will definitely, definitely, definitely bang with you for that. And real good people. You may not see them all the time, so don't always think you know everything, because the people behind the scenes, they are the ones. They are the ones. They are the ones. I thank them all the time. Okay? So I just want to shout out all my fairy gang, HOC. Write down what it is, who it is you want to be. What are your distractions? Know what's in your cookie jar and write it down. These are my things in my cookie jar. So when they pop up, you're more aware of it every time, and you don't have to have another fight and clink horns with yourself. Communicate clearly through your written word, because that's a contract with the most important person in your life, and that, my friend, is you. Peace, love, and bliss to you all. Please continue to do your work. I'm very proud of what I'm seeing. Y'all got it. Y'all got it. Y'all definitely lit.